So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Burumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In the news tonight, Union holds elections without elections office supervision. Scientists say sewage spill effects are slowly improving. And Beggars Rehab Center open outside Suva. Good evening, I'm Akosita Tale and this is FBC News. Fiji Public Service Association General Secretary Rajeshwar Singh claims there were deliberate moves to interrupt him at the Fiji Trades Union Congress meeting in Nadi yesterday. Singh, who was contesting the General Secretary's post for the FTUC, says it's a sad day for the trade union movement when such tactics are used by people who want to remain in power. Shireen Lata has the story.
To operate like that.
Fiji Public Service Association General Secretary Rajeshwar Singh has labelled it a mafia-style elite within the FTUC.
Unfortunately, I have to say that whenever I stood to speak, I was heckled. There was a group organized to heckle, and that group was from the Fiji Sugar General Workers Union. I am sad to say that trade union movement has come to this stage where that a group is organized, a mafia kind of group is organized to heckle somebody to stop or stop speaking.
Singh walked out of the meeting before the election results were announced. He went up against FTUC National Secretary's position against Felix Anthony.
I don't think that was so. No one organizes groups to heckle people down. We all believe in democracy here. We all believe in having a fair exchange of views. And of course, this is a trade union meeting. And sometimes people do get emotional about certain issues and they do speak out. And that's the way it's been. And I think he should have been used to this. No, this is the normal trade union meeting that we've attended. There's been no different from any other meeting. And I think, there were a few interventions when he spoke. People disagreed with him, but that's normal. If you're talking about organized state, I think that would really be a figment of his imagination, really.
Singh raised two motions at the meeting. The FTUC severed ties with the People's Democratic Party, and some executives returned to positions within the union after the general elections. Both the motions were unanimously defeated. PDP General Secretary Aman Ravindra Singh says workers need a political voice.
I think Rajeshwar Singh should grow up and not personalize matters. He is not representing himself, but he obviously appeared at the FTUC meeting today very childish, personalizing things and pointing fingers at people as opposed to sticking to the issues.
Anthony won the National Secretary's post with a landslide victory, getting 66 votes to Singh's 17 votes. The FTUC elections were not held under the supervision of the Fijian Elections Office because the FTUC says it's not a registered union. The media was not present to observe the elections. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
A 47-year-old farmer of Ngelemumu in Lambasa is believed to be the country's latest drowning victim. It's believed he was swept away by strong currents yesterday afternoon when he tried to cross a river. The victim's body was retrieved about a meter away from the spot where he tried to cross. The drowning toll stands at 3 compared to 9 for the same period last year. A leading scientist at the University of the South Pacific says tests conducted in the Suva Harbour following the sewage spill are showing good signs. This has led to the environmental emergency declaration being lifted for Nukulau and the mouth of the Rewa River. Ellen Stolz reports.
Dr. Johan Poinapen, the acting director at the Institute of Applied Science at the University of the South Pacific, is confident that results from the tests he and his team have conducted prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that some affected areas are now safe for fishing and swimming.
To date, we have conducted over 1,000 tests on water, fish and sediments, measuring physical, chemical and biological parameters. And we had 17 locations, 15 affected and 2 controls. And after 4 weeks, we have analyzed the results, and we are pleased that in some locations, the water and the fish are back to normal. The water quality is good, the fish has not been contaminated, so we have declared those areas as a go zone. Some areas that are still a no-go zone, we are continuing the sampling, and after 4 weeks, we will make decisions based on the sampling results, whether they are back to normal or not.
Dr. Poinapen, who is leading the team, says some of the places affected by the ban weren't so badly affected, and the restrictions were just precautionary measures.
We're not saying those areas were badly affected. Now, after 4 weeks, everything is back to normal. They were the least affected. They were on the peripheries of the boundary of the extent of the disaster impact. So these are the ones that have been lifted. The ones that are mostly affected, which is the 3 locations on the river mouth, and along from Suva Park along to Mangere. So these are the ones that were badly affected. These ones we say no, it's still a no-go zone.
The questions that arise now are what's the next step, and is this sewage spill going to have a long-lasting negative impact?
2 things, 2 levels that we're looking at this disaster. The first one is public health. We want to ensure that public health remains our #1 priority. Hence the extension in some areas of the declaration. So once we are comfortable enough that public health would not be affected by the disaster, then we'll go to the next level of our assessment, which is aquatic ecology, which is more of a long-term effect of the spillage on the aquatic ecology.
The Cunningham River, areas enclosed within the coastline, beginning from the police post at Mai Suva Picnic Park to the mouth of the Langere River and extending seaward to 500 meters from the high water mark, still remain no fishing and no swimming areas. The environmental emergency declaration has been lifted for Nukulau and the mouth of the Rewa River. However, the ban still remains for the collection of seaweed, shellfish and seashells. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
The country's first rehabilitation center has been opened in Suva. Called the Good Samaritan Inn, it can accommodate up to 15 people for up to 4 months at a time. Samaritan Inn has more.
The opening of this center marks a new chapter in helping beggars not only in Suva but around the country. Beggars will be taught skills which will help them become productive and fend for themselves.
To ensure that there is consistency in the enforcement and sustainability of this approach, Government, through the Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation and the Fiji Police Force as the lead agency, will establish a coordinating committee that will take a compassionate approach to address the plight of beggars in our country.
The Good Samaritan Inn has 3 dormitories and other basic living facilities run by the Church of Nazareth. The Social Welfare Ministry isn't alone in this venture. It's got help from other agencies, such as the Fiji Police Force and others who work with beggars.
With the availability of agricultural land, the centre will first venture into providing farming skills to the residents with the help of the Ministry of Agriculture, and later expand to include other vocational and its relevant stakeholders.
There are currently 4 beggars at the centre receiving their training. A profiling exercise around Fiji found that 72 beggars were in dire need of assistance. Samaritan Inn, FBC News.
Coming up, we profile rising soccer star Krishna in our successful Fijian segment.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulubinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Leading news this segment, the Legal Aid Commission will be educating people about its services. The Commission will be sending teams to communities around the country. Ellen Stolz reports.
The priority of the Legal Aid Commission this year is to vigorously promote its services to everyone.
We'll be engaging in numerous media campaigns and other promotional activities this year. All Fijians need to know that we are here for them and that we will provide them with legal assistance free of charge.
The Attorney General Aya Said Kayum says they want the services to be accessible to Fijians who require free legal assistance.
And you'll see in the next few months, the Legal Aid Commission will be putting out a lot of pamphlets, not just in English, but in the vernacular languages, for you to be able to read and understand yourselves and understand some of your basic rights. And the Legal Aid Commission, apart from providing the legal aid services in terms of lawyer services, they're also here to tell you and to demystify the law for you. They're here to tell you that the law is not complicated. We want you to read yourselves. We want you to understand yourselves.
The Commission provides a range of free legal services.
The Commission, of course, provides a range of legal services. In criminal law, the Commission provides legal advice and representation for all criminal offences in all the courts throughout the country. In family law, the Commission provides legal advice and representation in court for all family-related matters, including divorce, maintenance, custody, access of children, matrimonial property issues, adoption, child abduction cases, nullity, domestic violence orders, and residency and contact orders. The Commission also provides a number of assistance in civil law matters. These include drafting of wills, which we do free of charge, taking out probates and letters of administration, which we all provide free of charge, preparing deed polls, making applications to court for FNPF withdrawals, and providing general legal advice in civil law matters. We are also planning to expand our services to doing conveyancing such as transfers and transmissions of property after the grant of probate.
The Legal Aid Commission plans to have a total of 17 officers by the end of this year. All of the officers will be equipped with qualified lawyers, relevant counsellors, and support staff. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
The Fijian Media Association held a vigil last night to remember and honor the slain journalist and cartoonist of the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. It marked the one-month anniversary since the deaths and was an opportunity to show solidarity with media colleagues around the world. FMA President Ricardo Mori says this year the association is looking to build solidarity among media workers and provide training on professional development to ensure Fiji's media workers are highly skilled and well informed.
It hasn't been an easy time, an easy 8 years, and those of us who have still hung on, I have a lot of respect and a lot of pride in the fact that we can all choose to be part of a profession that is not an easy one to be part of, and is often a thankless task. We get accused from all sides of all kinds of things, and a lot of times you're just doing your job as a journalist.
A number of embassies have expressed support for the FMA. This week on Successful Fijians, we take a look at one of Fiji football stars and Wellington Phoenix striker Roy Krishna. The lad from Siberia in Lambasa has become the first ever Fijian to play in the A-League and also the first ever Pacific Islander to net goals in the competition. Indra Singh was in Wellington earlier this week and caught up with Krishna.
From Lambasa to the bright lights of Wellington, Roy Krishna is a name spoken simultaneously with Fijian football. Starting from the settlement of Siberia in Lambasa, he is scoring at will in the A-League. But the boy wonder says it wasn't rosy from the start.
And the first time come overseas and playing, away from home, missing the food, the family, the friends, and the atmosphere, back at home is different from here. So a lot of sacrifice,
Having played for Waitakere and Auckland City before the big boys came calling, and while this was the biggest break ever, it was a journey which could have started some years back. Krishna was on trial with the Phoenix in 2010, but was told he wasn't the player the Knicks were looking for because he didn't fit the bill.
I never give up. That's a big factor in my soccer career. I never lose hope, and I always listen to my family. My dad is a huge factor in my life, and listening to them, they said there'll be chances. Just keep working hard. And the chance came, and I took it. And thanks to the Almighty, things work out, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
A superstar in his own right, Krishna says he is nothing without the support of his parents, who still reside in Lambasa. In fact, it is interesting that he still credits them for everything he has and is achieving.
The game, I have to call mom, and he always asks me how's the game and how you feeling, if you're not injured or not, and did you score? But I can see, family is a big factor in my life, and see my brother playing in Hope, and they won on the weekend, and hopefully he can continue good work.
His current mentor, Scottish Australasian coach Ernie Merrick, is currently his father figure in the Windy City.
And his willingness to get into goal scoring areas. I don't need to improve his technique, I don't need to improve his speed, he's already got that. I'm really working on his positional play and his endurance fitness, and I found that he's extremely coachable, and he really likes feedback and video analysis delivered to him, and I think he scored 6 goals in the last 7 games that he's played, so he's becoming a prolific goal scorer, and he's a part of our starting 11 now, and I think he'll stay there for a while. If he doesn't, I'm sure when he's out he'll work very hard to get back in again.
Phoenix skipper Andrew Durante, who is tagged as one of the toughest men to play against, is also full of appreciation for his striker.
Fantastic for the country of Fiji. He's a great bloke, and I remember him coming about 5 years ago for a trial, and he didn't quite make it, and he's worked so hard to be where he is, and he's a fantastic sports story for all young Fijian players. But he's been great for the team. He's scored 6 goals in his last 7 at the moment as well, so he's on fire, playing in a very tough league, so he deserves everything he gets at the moment.
In the modern era, no Fijian player has been able to hit such heights.
Like I said, you got to sacrifice a lot, and you got to have that support from your family, especially. You can't just say I want to go to overseas and play professionally. You got to sacrifice a lot.
And inside of what makes a player click at professional level is something which our local reps need to understand, because the Phoenix marksman says if there is no discipline, there is no future.
It's very big, you got to sacrifice a lot of things, because to achieve huge things, you got to sacrifice like drinking. I don't say I don't drink, I drink, but not that much, and you got to sacrifice and listen to your family. That's the main important thing. Respect them. Whatever they say is always right.
But there's no doubt that there are other Roy Krishnas in Fiji.
It's a very close group. Obviously, Wellington. A lot of us are away from our families. Everyone comes from different parts of the world. So all our Christmas parties, all our birthdays are always together. So it's a real close community. Everyone fits in really well, and we've got a really strong culture here at the club.
Now the Phoenix are heading to Fiji, and while they will be playing against Krishna and the national team, it's more than football that is on the table. It's about identifying another Roy Krishna. The jersey number 21, which has been making waves in the A-League, is entrenched on the rugby jumper now. He won't be switching to rugby, but Roy Krishna will be coming back to Fiji to play in front of his home fans and for his own country. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Ahead in sports, Fiji settles for plate at the Wellington Sevens.
FM number 2 na sir na honan din naman kay Central Rental sa pagka na ruso na dito minichi me ba na koloko. Ni sapola.
Oya wa disoni dalai.
Go nga mo sidon.
Na magigiraw me na tolo kina bitu. Na via kabi mo ni tikena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM number 2 na sir.
Leading sports tonight, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens side claimed the play title in the Wellington Sevens after thumping Australia 24-0 last night. The Ben Ryan coach side ran in 4 unanswered tries to walk away with the silverware and some much-needed points on the series standing.
Flick it back, they don't mind where they start from. And there's Kuratani away from 2. And Stannard, he's not going to have the pace. And it's the captain, Osia Kulinasau, who scores right on the stroke of half-time. It's popped up. The support play is typical Fijian style. Joey Tuwai, giving it on the inside to Wonga. And Sidabeni Wonga scores the try. And Katonabao. Oh, there's a terrific run. Sloppy play at Kuratani. Kuratani will score, and it's one-way traffic at the moment. Las Vegas next week. A look at the pressure coming from Fiji, and have a look at Samasoni. Very Fiji are very good. Kulinasau, the Fiji captain. Congratulations, Fiji, plate winners 2015 in Wellington.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan says the team was hard done by decisions made by the referees during the Wellington Sevens. Ryan did not want to blame the officials entirely for the team's play title finish, but says some calls were some of the worst he has seen in his 8-year career as a rugby coach. Chalendo Zakazaka reports.
The Cup quarter-final clash between Fiji and England in the Wellington Sevens saw several questionable calls made by the referee, Mike Adamson. National coach Ben Ryan says it was disappointing, but says the team will just have to move on and focus on the next leg in Las Vegas.
It was a very frustrating weekend, and look, Fiji don't want to have a coach that moans about officials and referees all the time, or players that don't look at themselves first. But it was, it was the worst I think I've felt in a tournament in 8 years, with the cards that we were dealt that really weren't under our control. And I was really disappointed with the officiating in our game against England.
Ryan pointed out that the team did well to stay focused on doing better despite being relegated to the plate division, and accomplished the side mission to get even with Australia after 2 successive losses.
The things that we did control, I thought we played some good rugby, particularly when we had our full complement of 12 players to select from. 2 victories over Australia, and obviously beating the US, teams that beat us in the last tournament, shows that we're progressing.
Fiji has a full history when it comes to questionable calls with the whistleblowers. Ryan says nothing good will come from moaning the decisions, and the players will just have to accept their fate and focus on their next task. Talento Takadak, FBC Sports.
New Zealand successfully defended the Wellington Sevens title after beating England 27-21 in a thrilling cup final. The hosts were taken to the wire by determined English outfit and managed to hang on to seal the win in front of their home fans.
And waiting for it out on the right flank is Dylan Collier, and he's in for the first try of the final. Here it comes. It's Marcus Watson, and he's in. Opportunity to get it wide. Ioane waits for it, picks it up on the 22, brushes them off. Oh, this kid is something special. Penalty taken quickly by John Bright, the veteran, and he's going to score. Well, England have come back with 2 late tries. Well, he wasn't on the field during the final, but he gets to hold the cup up. New Zealand the winners.
Fiji now sits on 3rd spot in the World Series points table with 64 points. South Africa extends its lead to 76 points, with New Zealand now in 2nd spot with 69 points. Australia rounds off the top 4 positions with 58 points, just 2 points ahead of England. The Telecom Fijiana side was hammered 38-7 by Australia in its final pool game in the Brazil Sevens. The Telecom Fijiana side earlier lost to host Brazil 26-14, but won its opening pool game against China 22-7. The national side will face South Africa in the Bold semi-finals at 2:28 a.m. tomorrow. In the Galaxy Premier League, Nandi hammered Rewa 5-0 at Prince Charles Park to return to the top of the points table. In other games today, Suva and Lambasa played to a 2-all draw, while Nandrong upset Lautoka 1-0. Occasional rain and thunderstorms prevailed over most places today. A trough of low pressure lies slow-moving over Tonga. Meanwhile, another trough affects Tuvalu, Samoa and the Cook Islands. A hot day all over Fiji, with major centers all recording temperatures in the 30s. 33 degrees Celsius was the highest of the day. Tomorrow's forecast is for afternoon or evening rain and thunderstorms over most places. The outlook for Tuesday: occasional rain over most places. Here are the main points again. The Fiji Trade Union Congress has held its elections without the supervision of the Fijian Elections Office. Scientists say the effects of the sewage spill in the Suva harbour are slowly improving, and Beggars Rehabilitation Centre now open outside Suva. To our poll question this week, in light of the recent drowning of an under-17 player, we ask, should managers travel with Fiji soccer teams on overseas trips? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizensize@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our news for tonight. We will be back again tomorrow. Good night.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulubunaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was.